In this episode of our Friday Favorites, we're talking about our Sony A6000 digital camera. Alright, so I love this A6000. This is a mirrorless digital camera. So the traditional camera has a mirror at about this position that flips up when you take the shot. This one does not. So it makes the camera itself lighter, and it's smaller as well, which is really good because we are traveling. So it makes it more convenient to use this guy. 24 megapixels, which is more than enough than what we would need. A couple things I don't like though about this digital camera. One, the battery life. This thing eats through batteries like crazy, so I always keep a couple of them extra in my pocket in case I run out, which I typically do if I'm shooting for the day. Another thing that I wish was a little bit improved is there's no touch screen on the back. I like that the screen articulates out like this, which is really cool, but I can't actually touch the screen to interact with the Sony menu system. And I'll be honest, the Sony menu system does take some getting used to. There's lots of menus, lots of choices. Once you do start to play with it a little bit, you get used to it and things kind of fall in line. It does have an articulating screen. Unfortunately, this isn't the best selfie camera because it doesn't flip all the way around. So if you're like this, you can't see the LCD screen, which would show you what the camera's seeing. But I mean, that's something that I can look past. It's not a big deal, especially for the price point that this guy was at when I bought it. I guess it's been a couple years now. This was certainly well worth the money. There's a A6500 and A6300 out now, which are the follow-ons to this A6000. They don't have fully articulating screens either, so really I'm not missing anything. I don't feel like I need to upgrade. The camera is all electronic, so there is a bit of a lag when you turn it on and you're ready to shoot. But once the camera's on, it does a really good job. One of the best autofocusing systems in the industry with this guy. It's got face recognition as well. The scene, it will try to pick out whatever faces there are and focus on the one that's closest. Even if that face is moving in the screen and your camera is still, it'll track that person based on their face. So that's been really helpful in the past. I take more landscape shots than people shots, but when I do take people shots, I definitely appreciate the face recognition. On this guy, I have my favorite lens. This is the 18-105 f4. This has what Sony calls OSS, or optical stable shot, which is basically image stabilization in the lens, so it corrects for camera shake. Makes the especially the video a little bit smoother. But even if you're shooting in low light, you can hand hold the camera a little bit easier with OSS in the lens. The camera itself does not have sensor stabilization, unfortunately, but I mean, I keep this lens on probably 95% of the time. So to be perfectly honest, I don't miss that all that much. Have a microphone on top for video, works well, just has a regular hot shoe, just like any other camera would. And other than that, I mean, this has been a really nice camera, really handy, really light, really easy to use, and yeah, I've been enjoying it a lot so far. One other thing about this camera is you can use other manufacturers' lenses on this Sony camera body. So for example, I have a Nikon 55mm f2.8 macro, one of the sharpest lenses I have ever used in my photography career, dating back to high school. This is a 1970s era lens, so it's a manual focus only. That's okay, especially because it's a macro lens, so you typically manually focus those anyway. All you need is a little adapter that goes from Sony E-mount, and this takes in the Sony E-mount lenses. There's also Sony A-mount, and I think there are a couple others. So you need the correct adapter to go from this camera to the Nikon F-mount in my case. But you can find adapters for Canon lenses, for Minolta, for Pentax, whatever. They're all out there. Some adapters will actually let you autofocus as well. The adapter that I have, even if I did have an autofocus Nikon lens, it would not autofocus. It doesn't transmit those electronics between the lens and the camera. It was also like 15 or 20 bucks, so it was a super cheap adapter. I think it's from Fotga, F-O-T-G-A. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but we'll link to it in the description so you know what I'm talking about. So this is a very extendable camera as well. So if you have a collection of lenses through another camera manufacturer, you don't necessarily have to give those up, especially if you don't mind manually focusing those lenses. So if you're the kind of person who likes to travel, especially likes to travel or like to hike, just like to be out with your camera, this is a really good choice. I think you've seen me before with my camera on my hip rather than around my neck, but even if you do, or even if you're okay with just your traditional camera strap around your neck, it's not heavy. It's very lightweight, very easy to use, and very easy to carry around with you when you need to do so. So it's incredibly versatile when you're on the go. So that's it for this episode of our Friday favorites. Join us again next week for another product or service that we like. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Comment below with your photographic equipment. I'm sure you all have a collection of cameras and lenses that you enjoy. Always love reading and talking cameras. So please comment below if you have anything to say, and subscribe if you are not already a subscriber, and I will see you next time.